Okay, now it makes sense because that's why you know, we had the Father Flaggers. That's a whole other show. I mean, come on, we in such a bad shape. The strongest black voice, the strongest black man of the cloth voice, reverend voice, is Father Flager. Come on, that's how effed up it is, man.
Oh yeah.
And all due respect to Father Flager, but come on, we can do better than that.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, you know, that's interesting because say somebody sits in the heart of of the community in the 17th Ward. I mean, him and Reverend Clements, they started throwing paint over the billboards that had alcohol and cigarettes, but that wasn't what that credit should not go to them.
Mandrake, the late great Mandrake,
exactly,
who was killed,
Chicago River,
was killed, thrown in the Chicago River.
By challenging the malt liquor signs, and that malt liquor, basically, if you go back and read the history on it, that deal was cut by Operation Push, the Urban League, NAACP, and the AME Church in California. Those beer distributors were in trouble, and they came up with a malt liquor that was only to be sold in the black and Hispanic communities. And the malt liquor that Mandrake gave us the chemicals in it was manganese, hydrochloric acid, and sugar. The manganese was the lead that they put in the Vietnam War veterans' food to fight, to make them angry. So an overabundance of lead that from drinking this malt liquor, when they saying these babies come here full of lead, as the baby crawled over to a paint ceiling and ate some paint off the wall. No, the mamas and daddies that were drinking the malt liquor are responsible for the babies coming here full of lead. And so there's no way a baby could come here full of lead unless the mamas and daddies were drinking malt liquor. And so this malt liquor, which hit the scene in 1985, along with crack cocaine and along with the first cases of AIDS. And the only reason they started and called it a 40 ounce was because Ronald Reagan was the 40th president. And so, I mean, that's how they came up with it.
You know, don't get me wrong, I love a good malt liquor. I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? They taste real good. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, y'all may see me in the stove and, Mark, I say, hey, I have a little taste. But the thing about the 40 ounces that I was once told that we consume 90% of all malt liquor.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's not made. It's made in the factories. It's not a yeasting process for beer. It's made in the factory.
I ain't had one in a while, but they taste really good.
But in 1995. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce pulled it out of their store.
Damn.
But it's remained in the black
So
community.
I'm saying we crazy because all the chemicals, the bad diet.
Oh yeah, but
the brainwashing.
This malt liquor is really called liquid crack because it prepares you for the next step to do crack cocaine. And so, I mean, if you're drinking it every day, I mean,
they should go to these public schools. You see these young people, and they are like messed. They mentally ain't all there, and that's why.
They're self-medicating themselves. And they don't understand.
We got just maybe 1 or 2 more phone calls. I'm looking at the clock. Go right ahead. You're on Viewpoint Live.
Yes, sir. My question is basically this. We knew that the disparity in the black community did not start within the last 20 or 30 years, but we look back in the 20s and 30s when African Americans had their own banking system known as the Freedmen Bank. And what was going on in Tulsa with the banking entities out there, we know for a certain fact, for we to come up in America, we have to actually develop our own banking system, our own financial institution, and redevelop a connection back to Africa and develop our own produce line to feed our communities and thus for healthier children. I'm a pastor of a church on the east side, and I'm pro-black, and I don't like the way the establishment has really taken down the community in Chicago. So what can we do to get ourselves back in a financial situation, not only in Chicago, but nationally, that we uplift our people through economics and not through just mere substance? Can you answer that question, Margaret or Harold?
Well, I would assume if you're a pastor of a church, I think starting right there, if I got 300 people in front of me every Sunday and their lives don't change and we steady, you know, we taking up collections, I think if any pastor that has a group of people in front of them, then that community should change. Where that church sits at, that community should change. I mean, if you get a pool of money coming in every Sunday, I mean, then I think rather than putting it in a white bank, that church should start a credit union. That church should start buying vacant houses and it should start going in the community. There's a bunch of brothers who have lost their licenses for plumbing and electrical work, brick masons and carpenters, because they couldn't pay the union dues or wasn't allowed to get in the unions. We can start right there. So any anchored church in the community, I mean, should be able to start.
Show is almost over. You know, Ron Carter, he's running for 17th Ward Alderman, Black Wall Street. So Pastor, type his name in, Ron Carter, Black Wall Street. There's a lot of people out here doing things. We're just not connected. Give your phone number again.
773-988-5588.
Okay, and say it real slow. Write this down, y'all.
773-988-5588.
773-988.
5588.
5588. I have it here on the phone right here. See, people, we have a great show, but we don't want to take it to the next level. See, you call me at 773-50. That's the old number, 517-4369, 517-4369. I'll give you Harold Davis' phone number.
Yes,
I give you Black Star, Ron Smith, Ron Carter. There's a lot of good people here, but just like he said, we're just not connected.
Yeah, we got to help, brother.
I mean, I'm saying, and also I'm saying that if I know you, you know me, then the circle. So, Pastor, give me a call, 517-4369, and we're gonna look you up. I don't know when I'm gonna have you back. You dropped the balls, but hey, they calling now. See, I'm talking to right now. I think it's Reverend Meeks. Is Reverend Meeks? This ain't Reverend Meeks?